What's good, people? What's good, my Reds out there? It's Liverpool 12th man. I am about to give you a Toulouse. Got my French down a little bit. My French teacher doesn't leave a nasty comment in the comment section. But I got a Liverpool versus Toulouse preview. So we're going to be getting into it. It's all pretty cut and dry, pretty much with what we should come to expect. I think the only thing that we're going to possibly have issues on figuring out is going to be what lineup Klopp is going to play. So I'm going to bring this up here real quick. I hope that everyone's well and good out there. I appreciate it if you're watching this live or if you watch it on the replay, whichever the case might be. But I honestly do appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the fact that you guys make an effort to say hello, say what's good, and show really proper Reds character and everything. So let's just get right into it. I have a funny there's a little. You definitely want to wait until the end because I do have a little bit of a little I guess you could call it like a quick segment since we just watched pretty much some of the actions of Champions League happen. I got a little quick shades section. But big up to the internet genius in the house. I see you, Brian. Big up, big up. All right, so let's just get right into it. Like I said, this is the matchup for tomorrow. As I mentioned before, it's going to be Liverpool versus Toulouse. And it's very, very interesting where Toulouse stands so far this year because Toulouse isn't necessarily a great team, but they're not necessarily a bad team either. I believe they won the French Cup, I want to say. And then they also are mid-table team though at the moment. So when it comes to really getting an eye or a conception of what to expect, that's where I think we're kind of we'll find out what we'll see. But it helps that we're playing at home, and I think that's going to make a major difference. So let me see. I'm going to get into first. I'm going to break down basically what is the Toulouse team that we're probably going to be facing. Let me pull that one up here. And also I'm going to tell you what kind of form we're in too, which is very, very important. I think it's very, very important. So currently, we've won these last two games in Europa. Obviously, our overall form in all competitions is a little bit like up and down, I guess you could say, but it wouldn't be. It's funny. You look at that and you would say up and down. I shouldn't say up and down because like when you look at that, when you look at what you're looking at, the win, the loss, the win, the draw, the win. I think we could have come out with wins in each and every one of those games. That's the whole thing about it. I think we could have easily come out with wins in each and every one of those games. You might differ in your opinion on that one, but I honestly do think that we would have possibly gotten some different type of result in whether it was the Brighton match, and especially I don't even want to bring up that sore subject of the Hotspurs. So, but Toulouse is looking at a draw and a win in the Europa. They're in second place so far in our group. Toulouse is also looking at a draw, a loss, a win, and two draws in all competitions. It's going to be big up John Conway in the house. Big up. Hope you're well. I hope everyone's well, obviously, but I hope John and Brian, I hope you're both very, very well, and I hope everything's going great for you and your family and your loved ones. So again, Toulouse, you would almost say they have a slightly similar case of playing only with one loss. However, there's a bunch of draws in there. They are playing in a much. I don't think the French league is that powerful and everything else. I'm well, John. Thank you for asking. By the way, I appreciate that. And I mean, usually that's like most people think that when you ask someone how you're doing or something like that. It's just empty comment, but it's not for me. I always say, if I ask how you're doing, it's with sincerity. So, but yeah, what we're looking at with Toulouse is very interesting. Like I said, they're mid-table. They've got a couple of different things going on with their team. In that, Zakaria, it doesn't really matter. He's kind of a d-bag, because I know that, like, all due respect, big up to Morocco, but the Moroccan international, I know, last year had issues with a bunch of different things, a bunch of like ugly different things, whether it was homophobia, or it was like sexism. A lot of different things that it was that, and then he ended up going on and getting a knee injury. But I believe that he will be out until the end of November. So we're not going to be seeing him. We're also not going to be seeing Oliver Zandon or Ibrahim Sisco, who are all out with either a hip or a foot injury. So they'll most likely be out until next month. When it comes to Toulouse, this is the team I'm expecting to see, because this is the team that they've been playing pretty much in and out of their games, and especially since this is the game that they want to get a result in, they're probably going to, unlike us, we're not necessarily going to bring our best 11 out there, but most teams we're facing in Europa will. And most teams that we're facing in Europa most likely will not only bring out their best 11, but they'll also bring out an 11 that you will see a good run out of. So that's something I expect to see. Let's see, what else did I have? It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be a difficult task, though, to beat them. I know, if I said, I'll knock on wood just in case, so I don't get plexed with the jinx. And basically, I know they played Union Saint Louis, or USG, and obviously came out with a good result. They're going to be looking to continue that result. But I mean, like, if I look at this lineup that they have out there, nothing really wows me about this lineup that they have. One unique thing I think is that a lot of the teams that you're seeing us play primarily is very similar to what you saw with Everton, is that, like, these 4-1-4-1 formations, and like the 4-4 1-1s and like those kind of formations. Primarily, they're looking to keep players back to be able to fend off counter strikes, and also basically handle their defensive mentality, or defensive focus of the game. And that's something that you're probably going to see with this team right here. I don't know too much about each and every player that they have. I know, though, that there's nothing really that says, oh wow, this player is going to be great, or this player is going to be this or that. I didn't really have a player on this lineup that they have, whether it's Schmidt or Dessler, or Dessler plays the defensive, but Sierra plays their DM. No one on this team really like made me go, wow, we've got to watch out for this player. He's dangerous. And if anything, I think that it's going to be a question mark of how well we manage their attempts to get Dillinger forward and on like a quick, like, counterattack style break type deal with him, because he's going to be definitely looking to get some passes to him that are going to release him into our pitch, or our final third, and try to get something there. Very interesting comment. I'm going to put that up there. I'm going to star that, Brian. I'm going to star your comment because I do have an interesting perspective on our Union matchup that we had. I think there was other reasons why we ended up dealing with what we dealt with, but I'll get into that a little bit in a second. So again, that's the Toulouse team. Basically, I think that I'm looking forward to getting some momentum to some of our squad players, getting some momentum for the players it's going to be a nice little balanced mix of players, I believe, in this starting lineup. And there was something, it's even a reason why I kept the lineup builder open, because normally I try to just take a screenshot or download a GIF of it. But it's very interesting to see what we're going to be bringing out when we get our team on Thursday. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a very interesting mix of youth, squad players, veterans, and, starters. There's going to be a couple of starters that actually get to play, most likely. But there's no guarantee you're going to see. I mean, it depends on how you look at a starter, for instance. For instance, like a Hakpo or a Yata, those players are both, those players, in my mind, could easily be starters. They're not necessarily starters on this club right now. I know that we've kind of round into form to say that our starters are going to be Diaz on the left, Nunez in the middle, which I'm so glad to see, because these are two players that I've been, really, really, cheerleading for to get their starts and to get their proper due. And then obviously Salah on the right. But, with Europa, we have the unique ability to say, or have the unique ability to rest players, the unique ability to do what some teams are able to do that we're going to be in contention for, or at least competing for in trying to cement top four and trying to actually push forward and make a real title challenge. So some notes that I thought was kind of cool to see. This is, again, some notes that I thought was interesting. And that is, let me pull this up over here. And that is that if you look at it this year, we're not having that bad of a year. I know a lot of people have been very critical of some of the play from some of our players. But, right now, slightly rounding into shape to a good form of goal scoring. Of course, we would all like to see more goal scoring, because we all like to see goals are currency, and goals are fun to see. Everyone that's what everyone tunes into. Chicks like goals, I guess. Is that how you say? Or just like they say, chicks like the long ball, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, Mohamed Salah has 7 goals and 10 in all comps. I don't think he's going to have any. He might get a quick cameo in this, but I doubt it. Nunez again has 3 goals. This is his goals. The first is goals in the Premier League. The second is goals in all comps, obviously. So Nunez is having actually a pretty decent year if you look at it so far, and so is Diaz. No shade, no bias or guilt on that one. And but it is something to say. I mean, I think Cody Hakpo, despite the fact of not having a lot of emphasis on or not having that many opportunities, considering he just had coming back from injury, still quite a bit of goals in all comps. Diego, just really, I mean, surprisingly so, having 2 goals in Prem, but I mean, having 8 goals in all comps, that's pretty good so far. I mean, he's having a very, very quiet but consistent, a consistent good year. And one of those years where no one would ever think that he has 8 goals all comps. I don't think. The way people talk about him, the way people think that he's not necessarily that much of a relevant factor in a lot of the things that we do, is very interesting to see that he has 8 goals all comps. I mean, Luis Diaz, again, 6 goals all comps. Darwin Nunez, 8 goals all comps. To say you have 2 goals less or 3, or in Nunez's 4 goals less, that's a pretty good, decent thing from Salah, of course, who is on a really, really good year, I think, for himself. Despite not having a great performance in the Everton match, but still all the same showed up and performed when we needed him to. Dom's down there with 1 goal in the Prem and 2 goals in all comps, but I like Dom's demeanor. Dom looks to get on the board. He looks to score. He looks to contribute. He looks to be a threat from wherever he's on the pitch. Something that you got to enjoy. But I just wanted to include that real quick, top scorers for us, because I thought it was kind of interesting how our team is kind of rounding out into shape. This is our current form so far right now in Group E. Right now, we're looking at 2 wins, and we're looking at 6 points, obviously, but our goal differential is 4. We only let 1 goal so far in Europa, and we've scored 5. We're definitely there's a definite difference in caliber of club, as you can see by the amount of goals that are being scored. And the amount of points that we have. And it's kind of like, if we win this, we can pretty much say that, it was pretty much already an assurance somewhat that we were going to win this group, but all the same, it's still pretty much a decent assurance that we're going to do, we're doing what we needed, what we should be intending on doing, and that is winning this group. Okay, so I'm going to bring up this this right here. I'm going to bring up the team that I believe we're going to see. It's going to be very interesting. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of different perspectives. With the anti-Nunez stuff, I didn't hear these opinions of it at all. I'll reference your point. I'm starring your comments, and I'll definitely make point to tell or say why I'm speaking on what I'm speaking on. But let me bring this up here. Let's share the screen. So originally I had a very interesting club that I was going to, or interesting team I was going to bring up. And what I mean by that is this. Okay. So what I mean by that is, I was looking at this team. I'm thinking, like, who are we going to bring up to the club? What kind of mix we're going to see? I've seen a lot of different predictions on who we might be bringing in, who we might be utilizing in this game, and I also was, I watched a little bit of the U21s, and I saw that Kwanzaa got a run in. I saw that McConnell got a run. So some of the youth players that we might utilize actually got runs with the U21. So that might dictate if they play, if they don't play. I think the most notable thing that you can see, I have 2 spots open, obviously. I could, if you want to help me fill those 2 positions in, put who you think would play right wing and who you think is going to play right mid for us. But I think I think that it's going to be very interesting. I don't think we're going to see. This is a little tip that I think is something to keep in mind. This is at least what I utilize. Something out there. I don't really mind, empowering. I look to empower my Reds with knowledge, or at least, any insights I can. So let me say this: whenever I see a press conference, and you see who comes out, normally who's going to come out are players like that are part of the leadership group, because they're the ones that are going to speak for the club or speak for the team, however you want to reference it. And by not seeing, obviously we didn't see Virgil. We saw Virgil when he started in Europa. When we saw Trent in the press conference, when we saw this, they could be on the bench or whatever, or they could be in the lineup, but doesn't usually, when you see them in the press conference, it usually means they're going to be in the starting lineup. I think that we're not going to see Trent and we're not going to see Virgil this weekend or this week on Thursday, because we didn't see him in the press conference. And also, and I know I'm definitely, making it very simple, but all the same, I think that we're going to see Curtis Jones, who I like to reference as being Cujo, C-U-J-O, obviously. Cujo's it's a movie also. He's a dog, crazy dog. But yeah, I think that we're going to see Cujo be our captain. I think the reason why we saw him speak at the press conference, the reason why, is because Big up, Redbird. Greetings to all Earthlings for sure. All my Homo sapiens out there. But I think we're going to see Cujo be our captain this week, excuse me, on Thursday in our Europa match. I think that's the reason why we saw him take the lead in being the person that was handling and fielding questions. Normally, when you're on a team, that's what happens when you are a captain. It's that simple. And that can be usually a sign that you're going to be the captain for the upcoming game because you're the one that's speaking for the club. So seeing Curtis speak at press conference was cool. He dealt with a lot of, he fielded a lot of questions. Despite the fact that obviously Curtis Jones won't be available. Big up to Nilante in the house for sure. He spoke on a lot of different things about whether, the red card, if he thought it was like, if it was proper or if he felt maligned for getting it. And also talked about how like he doesn't really, being a Scouser, you're often talked about negative. People talk about you negatively, like as in that doesn't faze you. Scousers are made from a different cloth when it comes to it. So I would like to hope to think that most of our fellow Reds can either, elevate to that level or at least, try to hold on to that kind of concept. But yeah, Curtis Jones is a proper Scouser. He mentioned it in the press conference. I was glad to see that he's going to be with the team, but he's going to be playing in this game despite not being able to play on Sunday. And what's pretty cool about it is he gave some really really cool answers. It's interesting because it's almost like you're grooming Curtis Jones into a leadership role, despite the fact he's not part of the leadership group. He's still being one of the more senior youth players because he's still at such a relatively young age. It's great to see that he's got a lot of experience, a lot of veteran knowledge, and there's a shout that Gomez could be that guy too. I'm not saying I shouldn't say it's a guarantee that Curtis Jones gets the captain badge. Because Gomez has more senior experience or senior caps than any of the people I have currently on the screen. So that could be interesting. But I think that it's going to be very interesting who we put right here. I was looking at possibly having obviously Harvey Elliott get his start here. It'd be nice to see. Be very, very cool to see him get a run. I like it because I like Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, the chemistry they have together, the fact that they're BFFs, very, very cool bromance going on. And a lot of the different things that they bring is that they bring energy, they bring pace, they bring a lot of different duties to the pitch. A lot of different things that they bring to the pitch are really, really important. Oh, big up Rasta Crab in the house. My guy, Rasta Crab. Big up. Representing definitely Beige and Reds TV. If you haven't subscribed or hit that, be sure to subscribe to Beige and Reds TV. They have a great crew, whether it's Beige and Angel, obviously Pops, Barnes, and obviously El Tucho, aka Rasta Crab. Great crew representing actually Barbados and also representing obviously Colombia as well, and America and Canada. So all the four there representing. Big up the Baz in the house. What's good, bro? What's good? Another great channel, LVFC TV. Baz had surgery recently, so he hasn't been putting out necessarily content per se while he was going through some of obviously the surgery and the rehab and everything. But he's still like a great guy, great insight. Someone that's obviously played in high levels of the game and has some great takes. Even when we don't agree, because we don't agree on a lot of things sometimes we do, but even when we don't agree, we appreciate each other because that's my Red, and I appreciate that that we're Reds brothers for sure. So again, I'm looking at this as being a very interesting selection here. I'm looking at it where the right wing is going to be a very interesting selection. I kind of, and this is like just thinking outside the box. Okay, this isn't guaranteed, obviously, but how would you guys feel if you guys saw this lineup so far, but rather than have Elliott start in the midfield, have Elliott start on the right wing? We don't really, we're we're very thin at selections for right wings when it comes to this team. Obviously, I know Dom can play that position, but I want to see the boss get basically a rest this weekend. I believe he'll be on the bench, but I don't want to see us have to utilize him at all this weekend. I'd like to see him just get a proper rest. But how would you guys feel about this? I mean, I think that would be a really, really cool front three, to be honest with you. I think you get I know that Harvey is touch and go with some of our fan base. And I also know that, big up Psychedelic Shaolin in the house. Psychedelic Shaolin, definitely righteous brother right there. But I think it would be cool to have this front three. Am I alone on this, or I'm seeing some positives of my suggestion in the chat right here? How are you feeling about this? Is this something that you kind of want to see? Let's see. I'll bring up some of these comments on my question here. Let's see. Psychedelic Shaolin. And wait, actually, I think Rasta said something too about it. Rasta said, I like that. Rest up Mo and put Harvey there. I think that'd be really cool. Mix up on like bringing in some pace, bringing in someone that's going to look to facilitate to two players. Obviously, Elliott doesn't shoot that much. And with Doak being not necessarily fit to play in this game, I think it's the natural selection. It's not necessarily guaranteed, but I definitely think it's a natural selection considering the competition that we're going against. Let's see who else made a comment on it. Psychedelic Shaolin said, big up 12th man in the chat. I like the team. Elliott can cook from the right wing. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I like it. Let's see. LVFC TV or Baz saying, I think we should keep Elliott in the middle and play Doak. I think Doak isn't going to be fit enough to, at least the start. Maybe, I don't know if he's fit enough to possibly feature later on in the game, but I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to at least start and at least to try to get, because you never know who you're going to need to get a full 90 out of. You want to, every player that you put on the pitch, you want to in your mind say they can go a full 90. That's at least how I see it. You want to say full 90 out of all these players, but you obviously then you start to put in little asterisks next to some people, like Matip or let's see, maybe like a Hato or Hakpo, or Hakpo being he's just coming back from injury. You might put asterisk to say you want to measure their minutes, but I think that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. He might have changed his mind. He says, okay, then Elliott on the right and grab. And that's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. I think that like what I would like to see, because I want to see him get his fitness. I like the fact that Ryan Gravenberch has started to definitely, I wouldn't say demand, but certainly solidify his role on this team as being I don't want to say it as this is no disrespect at all. Borderline starter, considering the talent that we have on here. I mean, he's not going to start in front of Dom. He's not Curtis Jones, I think, has really, really played well. But yeah, it's interesting. And I agree with you. I understand Rasta Crab saying, I don't want to play too much of Gravendinho. I like it. Gravendinho. I like it a lot. Brian's saying, Elliott hasn't played right wing in about 3 years, so I don't see it. I'm not the coach, though. I get you. I'm not the coach either. I like to sometimes think I would be or could be, but but I'm not at the moment. So therefore, these are all just speculations. But um, but as much as you're saying, I think and I think though, I think that you might be wrong with the right wing, because I think he has played right wing before. I want to say he's played right wing before in a game. I think he's played right wing in a game before, maybe in a cup game or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. So, all right. A tenor says Salah starts. If Salah starts, man, that's just not right. And he's saying, or start Mo and take him off early. Yeah, I see. But then if you take him off, who do you bring in? Because, I mean, if anything, maybe then, if you're not feeling this being the front line of Elliott, okay, then maybe we do something like this. How about we bring Elliott down here? We bring Elliott down here. And, whoops. R. And maybe we do something like this. How about this lineup? Now, which would you rather see? Okay. And again, I know that Brian's comment was that he hasn't played there in a while. I know this things, but I'm just saying in general, let's not think about, for instance, what Klopp is going to definitely do, because I know Klopp likes to stick with, his I wouldn't say his favorites, but he likes to stick with what is his measured starters. But how about this lineup then? And again, this is why I was like so kind of like trying to when it came to it, I was like, I had the Toulouse lineup dusted, but when it came to our own lineup, I was like, wow, there's so many different ways and we can approach it. It's so many different ways we can approach it, because like it's just a matter of what youth players we're going to possibly get a chance to play, and also where we're going to put these players and what roles we're going to ask of them come Thursday, because Toulouse is not a bad team. I don't think any Europa team is bad, despite what people might be saying. But does this lineup seem a little bit more believable? Because Gravenberch did play in a right wing position for us once. He came in actually for Salah and played that right wing. We've seen Gravenberch. We've kind of like tested him in different roles and different places on the field. I think that would be kind of cool to put Gravenberch in this right wing position, because then if you put Gravenberch in this right wing position, you're kind of like, it's a total football concept, of course, but you're kind of maybe creating a possible error, more likely error, I should say. I think that would be kind of an interesting lineup right there. You feel me? Am I alone? Yes, psychedelic Shaolin. I never walk alone, so that's I shouldn't say am I alone, but yes, Shaolin saying Gravenberch's right wing looks interesting. I agree. I agree with you on I look forward to them returning as well. But this is interesting what we're going to see. I think that you can pretty much Hackbo now having a couple of training sessions underneath his belt. I think we're going to see him perform and play. I think that Yata, the way that it's like, again, it's so interesting. The man has, I showed you those numbers earlier. The man has something like, what was it? Eight goals in all comps. I'll pick up. Thank you, man. Thank you. Representing old school here. A little flash, the Redbirds complimented me on my t-shirt here. Thank you, man. Shout out to Boys in the Hood, menace to society. But yeah, it's an interesting question. I'd love to see who you guys think will be our starting lineups. If you think I've got it right, or you think maybe I've got it horribly wrong, I'd love to hear about it. You can leave it in the comments. You can put it up, put it in the chat if you like. But definitely, if you're watching this on replay, please do leave a comment. If not on the comments, then please do. If even if you're in the chat, hey, leave a comment too. I'll reply, and we can engage with some dialogue that way too. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a very interesting lineup that we're going to see. I think that with Simicast is an opportunity for him to kind of get another game under his belt in trying to adjust and adapt to understanding what it takes to be the left back on this team. Particularly, I don't want to see Gomez in an inverted position. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather see them if they're going to do this formation. I'd rather see them kind of like ditch the whole trying to make inverted if we're going to have Gomez playing and you're not having Trent in that role, and just have Simicast and Gomez go back to their more traditional concepts of bombing forward and being that right back / right wing back position of contributing to the offense. I think that's what I would like to see. I don't necessarily want to see Gomez in an inverted position, but having said that, we'll most likely see him in that inverted position. I say that too, though, because you know why? Gomez, I'm not saying that he's nowhere near Trent in the sense of in his facilitation ability, but thinking about having it would definitely be a more defensive minded as opposed to a offensive capable pivot with Endo and Gomez in the holding roles. And I think that's why I wouldn't necessarily want to see Gomez in that role. But we have to get Endo used to playing in a pivot position. And we also have to get Endo just in general used to playing. Let's just get him used to playing, So yeah, Ohio to Endo, So yeah, tell me what you guys think. It should be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me get back into some of this too. And I'm going to do this. I'll bring this down. All right. So I'm going to bring this back up here. Take this down so I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm choppy or not. I hate when I have so many windows. I've been taking the Internet Genius's advice and not having many windows open at once. Let me get to some of your comments because I also have, let me get to some of your comments here. Okay, I got you, Nilante. Nilante did not like my Gravenberch shout. And all right. I think I got a lot of your comments starred, and let's deal with some of the comments. All right. Let's see. So I have this comment first from Brian. We were poor against Union, in my opinion, or in his opinion, I should say. So hopefully we have a more convincing performance tomorrow night. I'll be happy with another 1-0, though if that's what it takes. I can understand that. I think there's a lot of nuances in that Union game or the USG game that really made a reason why we saw what we saw. I wasn't necessarily overwhelmed by McAllister's or Macca's performance. I think the reason why I think there was a lot of emphasis probably in his own mind playing against his brother and all the attention being placed on him. I don't think McAllister likes attention put on him. I think he likes to be more, I won't say a wallflower, but more of subdued, not very, opinionated, not very vocal or loud person. I think he likes to just, be someone that is allowed to play his game in essence. Brian also said here, he's talking about the Nunez stuff. Why I was talking about the Nunez stuff is because still all the same, it has died down somewhat. And only primarily a lot of the rivals or haters on our club primarily are saying that. I'm not necessarily saying that there's that many Nunez haters. It's amazing how much the Nunez haters amongst our fan base have somewhat kind of quieted up a little bit. And that's very interesting. Let's see. This is what. So I mentioned this earlier. Milante is not too big on Ryan playing on the right wing. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to play there. I'm not saying that he's a natural fit to play the right wing. I just know that we have seen him play the right wing. He's one of the few subs. There was another combination that I was thinking of doing. And again, this was going to be a very interesting combo. But I was thinking of doing a possible combo of having either Hayata on the left, and then having then what was the combo? It was having Yata on the left, and then having Hakpo in the middle, and then possibly putting Diaz on the right wing. I mean, it's very interesting. If we don't start Salah, there's a very big question of, and obviously we don't have Doak. Who do we start on the right wing? It's a very big question to me as to what is going to develop into this thing. Personally, I'm hoping that we eventually have Kubo, from Real Sociedad. I hope that eventually we have him to be that answer to that question. Maybe even drop this. I think it's like 60 million euros, I want to say, is the release clause for him. So that'd be nice to see in January. Have something just in case. And if you saw that happen, if we do get a right wing, most likely the writing will be on the wall as to we are going to be seeing the last year of Salah most likely being a red. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that we get a lot of glory, win a lot of glory this year, and I hope that we end up enticing him this day. Let's see. There's 3 more comments, and I'm gonna get back to the live chat here. Simicast is on his second contract at the club. If he doesn't understand how to play left back in this team now, we're screwed. Regardless of any new tactics. I get what you're saying, Brian. I get what you're saying. What I meant by that comment was just that we also saw him get subbed out, whereas, and I know it was different amount of circumstances. It's more of a Klopp playing tactical chess with Everton this past weekend. And in that we saw Simicast get subbed out. We saw Lucho play left wing back. We saw then Gomez get subbed in to play left back. You never know. You never know what we're going to really get with this team sometimes when it comes to some of the decisions. Endo and Hakpo have a point to prove as to why they deserve to start Prem games. I agree. I think Hakpo has gotten a bad rap. The injury hurt him a lot. And then not only the injury hurt a lot, I think the fact that we were playing, it was much like Maka in that despite the fact that Maka is a quality player, is someone that is obviously deserves, could be and should be a starter. I think that when it came to Maka, you want to see him play, but we're watching him play in a position that a lot of people don't like seeing him play, and when it came to Hakpo, you also got to see him playing in a position sometimes, whether he's playing the 8 role sometimes for us. That's something that we don't necessarily want to see. It was unfortunate, but he was just kind of like doing it for the team and not necessarily getting the production out of him was something that we noticed, but it was also because he's not playing his more preferred position. And then finally here it says, I was speaking generally since he went on loan. This is referencing Elliott comment to Blackburn. Elliott has played as a center mid. He played as a center mid. Well, probably for, or I think he's referencing for Blackburn. And also 45 minutes on the wing in a cup game in 4 years doesn't change that. Okay. All right. Oh man, no holds barred when it comes to internet genius. I like it. Let's see. Let's just go through some more comments here. Bro, he's a good weapon, especially against tired defenders like the Newcastle game. I think so. I think you're right about that. I would move Elliott to right wing. Wait, didn't you? Oh, you're saying Elliott to right wing. Okay, yes, that's right. Or keep him and play McConnell or Scanlon is a shout. I think Scanlon is a shout it'd be very interesting to see him get a start, considering, and I was looking at maybe possibly McConnell at that role too. He's more of a center mid than he is a right mid. So that would be very interesting to see him get a start at the right mid. But I agree. McConnell will be a good shout. Scanlon possibly starting on the left wing, could be a good shout, and then utilize, and then this pretty much just taking Hatta and moving him over to the right wing and letting Hackwell play in the middle. That could be a shout too. Let's see, what else do we have here? Should we rest Simicast? That's a very good question. I don't know. If we should rest them or not. I don't think we'll get a full 90 out of them. I can say that much. I think that we'll see a youth player probably come in and get the start, or get some minutes in mop up duty. Let's see. Redbird saying psycho. He's talking about psychedelic. Shaolin, imagine being tired, seeing Darwin on the sideline ready to come in. I agree with that completely. That's a scary thought. Whenever I like how people now see, and Redbird D9 is different. I mean, Redbird D9 or Marion, myself included in that group, we've been sitting on the Darwin committee, for a long time now, but it's good to see that people are recognizing the strengths of Darwin, the fact that he's energy. I mean, people have seen that before, but how it is definitely a very cemented concept when it comes to Nunez, about the energy and the sure, I would say even like a fear that he brings to other clubs, knowing that he possibly could be either on the pitch from the beginning or maybe a late substitution. It's very, very scary. Brian said we should have beaten Union far more easily. If McAllister can't perform in the game because he's playing against his brother or take media attention, he shouldn't be at LC. Let's be honest. The amount of attention that you get at Brighton versus the amount of attention that you get at Liverpool are two different things. He gets a lot of attention already by playing for Argentina. Okay, so it's not like he doesn't get attention or get media attention. But Messi tends to be the end all be all when it comes to attention to the media for Argentina. But all the same, he is a very, very big part and important part of Argentina. So he knows what it's like to be in the spotlight. But what I was trying to get across is that I think that sometimes he just doesn't. You could expect a little bit more out of him. That's all. Let's see. Brian Dublin is going to. Dublin's going to be definitely dope. I agree. I've already booked my ticket. I'm definitely going to be really, 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 really excited to go, because I love Ireland. By the way, I love Ireland. And I've always had like really good. I just love Ireland. So I mean, I'm very interested in going to Ireland. So it should be very cool. And Dublin's dope as hell. I'll get my U2 on, my U2 on for sure. And then Nilante is saying, in regards to Nunez, anything less than 20 Premier League goals is failure. Wow, I understand that. I actually did say that I'm expecting 20 goals in the Prem, or at least that's one of the things. I said 20 plus all comps. Then when I was on the Jerry James show, I was on James. I think I was on GTV, and Jerry James was on on his show with him, and I made a wager or made a bet against him, saying that I'd look to see Darwin get 20 goals, not only all comps but possibly 20 goals in the Prem. So again, this is Group E. Group H. I have a bunch of the groups. I showed a bunch of the groups. Some of the teams are kind of like already forming and understanding who we might have to face or who we might see later on in the competition. So far, Bayern Leverkusen is looking good, looking strong. They have a great team. I don't know much about the second place team, to be honest. Group G, Roma, obviously, they've been playing okay in Italy. but they are tied with the top of their group with Slavia. And then let's see, very interesting to see Villarreal in second place in their group, but this is a much more balanced group, minus the Maccabi team, which must be going through. It must be a very difficult situation with the Maccabi, with the Israeli teams being being what they're going through in Israel. And Group D, Atalanta and Sporting rounding out the top of that. Not surprising to see. Group C, I have Group C. I've seen Sparta, and this is Sparta, and Aris. Very, very interesting group here, considering each team in the group all have 3 points. Rangers in this group, Real Betis in this group as well. Group C is a very fun looking group there. Group B is looking at somewhat of Marseille and Ajax, very interesting. And Brighton, unfortunately, Brighton needs to pull themselves together. If they want to play with the big boys, they gotta get their stuff together. I mean, having a loss and a draw in this group, they should be performing better. It is a pretty decent group, but I would think that they need to perform better. And then obviously West Ham doing well, rolling off the momentum of getting a trophy last year, playing decent, being humbled, being definitely humbled by Liverpool, but leading their group in Group A. So this is the fun part of it. Before I get to this segment here, because this is what the segment's going to be about. That's what the segment will be about, at least. Let me bring that down for a second. Because it's a fun thing. And I hope that you guys stick with me for a little bit. Even if there's other content creators that are on right now or anything like that, please do wait for the end, because you'll definitely enjoy what I have to say, or the segment I'm going to be bringing up. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Some score predictions, people. What are we looking at? How are we feeling about this weekend? Drop your score predictions in. I like the fact that we're home. I think that the fact that we're home means that we'll probably put on a show. I hope that it also means that the crowd can somewhat get behind behind our team and really put in some emphasis of spurring them on to some good heights. And then let's see, score predictions. We have 2-0 from Brian. Internet Genius thinks it's going to be 2-0. Okay, I've seen that. John Conway is saying 2-0. Okay, seems like that's the consensus. All right. Okay. I think that I'm looking at a 3-0 victory. Reason why I'm looking at 3-0 victory, I'm looking at a goal from Yata, and I'm looking at a goal from Hakpo, and possibly one of them could get a brace, but there is another player that I'm hoping will get a goal this weekend. But you never know. Curtis Jones, I know, will be biting at. Will be definitely trying to get a goal this weekend. It's kind of get back into the swing of things. And I think that you could definitely see that we're going to get a couple of different attempts at goal from Elliott, which might result in something promising. So, and big up to Chris Angel, Beijing Reds TV representing. Doesn't the Redbird Group own Toulouse? Yes, they do. They do. Yeah, someone was mentioning how we're going to be playing technically our sister club this week in Toulouse, but they also Redbird is it's again I'm trying to think the multi-team concept that we're seeing in football today. I just don't know how I feel about it. It's very, very interesting. I mean, like, it's just a very interesting concept. I don't know how I feel about it, but Redbird is not a majority owner, so I guess you could say, they're definitely like our little sister. I guess you could say, not definitely not our big sister. Psychedelic Shaolin saying 4-0. I was leaning towards that score too, but I kind of shaded away towards 3-0 only because I don't think that we have, other than Hakpo and Yata, we wouldn't necessarily have any bona fide goal scorers in the team. Yeah, the multi-club model is what it's called too. Yeah, thank you. Internet Genius coming in clutch as always. Thank you. I appreciate that. Redbird should sell Toulouse and buy LFC. That's very funny. That's a good question. I don't know if Redbird has more money than FSG or not, to be honest with you. Because often when people think about it, you look at it, John Henry, he's a billionaire in itself. But I mean, Redbird's got some very, very wealthy people. And Redbird, one of the key members of Redbird, actually, when he worked, I think it was either Bear Stearns or Goldman Sachs, I think he worked at, before FSG did, he put in a recommendation for them to purchase Liverpool, and it didn't go through. They didn't go through the acquisition. So later on, and he talks about it. He's talked about it in actual interviews. And later on, he mentioned how when the second time around, obviously it's for a lot more money, but all the same, the second time came around, and he made sure that he got a piece of the club this time. All right, so let me get into this. We're looking at 4-0. I saw from Psychedelic Shaolin. We're looking at 3-0 from my score myself. I told you some of the scores. I think they'll get on the board. So 2-0 from Brian and John. It should be very interesting. He wants $8 billion. I don't know. He wants $8 billion. I think they want like at least 4 to 6. I don't know about 8. 8 sounds more like what the Red Devils want for their team, or what the Glazers want for their team. But all right, so this is the fun part of the day, or the fun part. We're going to end on this. Now that we're done the niceties. I was going to put up this. This segment's called That's Shady. That's Shady is a segment that I wanted to do because yesterday, oh my goodness. If you saw that game, I'm not talking about the Arsenal game, saw our hated rivals, Red Devils game. Look, they're getting praised. I've even seen some people get out of their chairs and give props out to Maguire, who, getting the goal, deserves it, because he got the goal. It was a great, very good, very well placed header. It even hurts saying that somewhat, but that shady segment is this. These guys are shady. Okay. These guys are shady. And big up Redbird. I understand. If that's the last time you spoke to JH, he said no less than 8 billion. I understand that. I figured he might give you at least he would give you a mighty red discount. But all right, if you want to go 8, okay, that's what the price he gave you. That's the price he gave you. But again, all right, so that's shady is this group right here. That's shady is this group right here. I wanted to know right here, and he's right and the whole group is pretty much in the group. These 4 guys are all shady in itself. Okay, but again, what was shady about yesterday? I don't know if you guys saw that, but he is one of the biggest jokes in football. I agree with that completely. He is an absolute joke in that. Oh man, he's just like he I don't know. I know I might be dating myself by saying the Addams Family. And there's new takes on it, or maybe even like the Munsters, but like, let's just go with the Addams family. This guy is definitely Lurch he is Lurch. Okay. He is, oh man, he is something, but he got the winner. Good for him. Great and all good. But the reason why I'm saying that's shady is because what was shady is about when McTominay got when he got the foul called on him, and rightfully so, by the way. He got a foul called on him inside the box in the dying minutes of the game. It was something where it was stupid. McTominay's played very well for him, actually, lately, coming in and having scored like game winners and having scored in general. But one thing that one of the reasons why I said that's shady is because, Garnacho is a little punk. Okay, he is a little punk, and I don't mean the one that is in the WWE. I think once Manchester United go to Copenhagen, I hope that they get hosed. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because when they got the penalty, you can see here all the players, primarily, the United players, all went around the referee, and they went around them, and they were trying to get say their piece, say their 2 cents worth, everything else, yada yada yada. Okay, and while they did that, right here, see number 17, that's Alejandro. Okay, that's Alejandro Garnacho, right? He's busy doctoring the PK spot like a little punk. And what's incredible is, like, I don't understand, because that's you can get sent off, if not get at least a card for doing this. Okay, I don't understand what's the purpose sometimes of the fourth official. I don't even understand sometimes. And when I say that, I say that with tongue in cheek. I understand what their roles are supposed to be, but I don't understand what the roles of even sometimes the linesmen are. They're mic'd up. They have an earpiece in. They're standing there watching this happen. Why he is not on the thing going, hey, I know he's got all these voices in his ear, whether it's Copenhagen players yelling at United players or United players yelling at the referee. While this is going on, this little punk is doing exactly that. He's kicking and making it difficult. Big up the Philly Liverpool FC. What's up, my East Coast brethren, my East Coast Red? What's up, my guy? But he's in there doctoring up the pitch like a little punk. And unfortunately, Copenhagen no one has eyes on him doing that. Because I know if I saw that, I wouldn't punch him, but he would have too swift, he would have a swift push for him to be on his seat. He's a little, oh man, it made me so angry. So he's doing that. And then why I say that's shady is because, again, this is a little bit closer up, is because of this. Onana is off the line before the Copenhagen player makes contact with the ball. Now, you're not allowed to move off the line until contact is made with the ball. You can't come off the line on the run-up. Okay? So I've seen in World Cup, I've seen in cup competitions, penalty kicks, penalty shootouts. I've seen them retake kicks because of this action. This game, the referees in general are just not it this year. They're having a very, very harsh year. Because this is Onana taking liberties, coming off the line. You, as a goalkeeper, you come off the line, you press towards the ball to cut down the range or cut down the angles, and then takes a proper guess. He already sees the fact that he's going to Onana's left or to the kicker's right, and he scores. Or excuse me, he should score, but he doesn't. Onana saves it. That's shady. Because this team acted like they just won the Champions League. They acted like that was quarterfinal or that was like the final. This team is on life support in trying to get just something or anything positive. I think Onana, what's his name, is a poor keeper. I think he just is a poor keeper, to be honest with you. I think that sometimes, like all keepers, you get on a run, confidence is a big factor in it. But let's be honest. He's just a poor keeper. So I'm glad that they gave up De Gea, who actually could save, who could actually make saves. And they brought in this player who I think is a more of a negative than a positive to their club. I mean, McTominay, is what it is when it comes to a player. I mean, he was on his way out. Now he's found a little bit of favor by him, fighting and working towards his to get some relevance on the team and play. I think all three. I mean, like this is like this could be the basic. What's the spokespeople? This could be the spokespeople board for That Shady. Okay, maybe that's what I'll change the graphic and I can just put That Shady and I can say That Shady for these four. What a bunch of chumps. I just wanted to throw that in there. I didn't know if you guys watched the game. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Philly Liverpool FC is saying it made me sick rooting for that mess. I had them as a last leg in a parlay. Oh, that sucks, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. It's the reason why I don't do fantasy football. It's the reason why, sometimes I can deal with like the predictors, the score predictors, I think they call it the accumulators or something like that, which I will be doing with like Sideline Football Show and Anfield and Garage. I'll be participating in their leagues. But it makes me say, oh my goodness, it was harsh to see that game. I thought that they were really, really I really thought that we were going to see just another punch in the gut for them. And I also know that the sheer fact that they're acting like when you get away with something like that, and then you act as though that you actually performed, makes you say, you know what it makes me say when that happens? It makes me say, that's shady. So all right. So that's all I really wanted to do with the That Shady segment. I hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, just what did Chris say here? He's saying that's the dark arts. I'm all for it. I know. Chris likes to see when I bring out the Sith Lord in me. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do with this segment and this do with the show. Very interesting. The only positive about them winning this weekend, again, excuse me, the only positive about Manchester United winning this weekend was I hope that it at least gives them some confidence. At least brings them some confidence to perform this weekend against City. That's the only thing I'm hoping. If it means that they get some type of result, I'd like to see maybe. Excuse me. I'd like to see maybe a result like. Excuse me 1 second. If it means something of getting a result like, if it means getting a result of like a draw, which is going to be great for me, get a 0-0 draw, which we're not going to see. That's not happening. But City versus United for their Manchester derby, I'd like to see that happen. And it's it almost threw up in my mouth thinking about it. But yeah, maybe even getting a win out of United over City would be great, because I don't see United being in contention. Definitely not in contention for the title this year. And I think that they'll be lucky at best to contend for top 4. So I would like to see, it would be nothing greater to see United get 6th place this year, end up in the Europa Conference League. That'd be nothing better, I don't think. I don't think there would be anything better than that. Excuse me. So again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining Lucho here too. And there's green on my hat, so it ends up picking up a little bit of Lucho. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this segment. Please do, again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please do pass this on. I'm trying to get, if you guys are part of your supporter clubs, like I am, for instance, bring it up to your club president. Mention that, if you're a supporter club in America, for instance, bring up that, hey, this is another Red that gives out content that looks to represent the USA, but also represent worldwide. Basically, get my pit bull on worldwide and represent Reds properly, combating against some of the negative Nancy's that we have to face, whether they're rivals or whether they're Skrulls. And all the same, brothers, hey, we just do what we keep doing. That is keep on walking on. Let me just pull up this, though, for you guys to understand something about about myself and what I truly do believe. And that is, look, I truly believe that You'll Never Walk Alone is more than an anthem. It is an intention that you have to keep in your heart, an intention you have to keep in your soul, an intention that if you do bring on, whether it's with your own family, whether it's with your extended family, being your fellow Reds, we all need to take care of each other, take care of ourselves, and take care of each other. That's the most important thing. And as the 12th man, I look to certainly be someone that's going to always be fighting for you, be always fighting for, be the number one defense, or the solicitor, I think they say in UK, right? For the number one lawyer, the top lawyer for the defense league, for our players, for our manager, for our club, for you, most of all. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So again, I will see you most likely tomorrow, possibly. I'm not just going to do a review after the game per se, but you might see me on a couple of different broadcasts tomorrow. I might be doing something with Anfield Uncle Rod's a little bit later, possibly, but I'm not certain. All the same, I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and as always, please do walk on together. All right, I will see you all soon. Take care, guys.